Louis Jolyon West was an American psychiatrist involved in the public sphere, known mainly for his work and involvement with the MKUltra project, a CIA mind control project in the late 1960s. In 1954, at the age of 29 with no previous post-residency fellowship or tenure-track appointment, he became a full professor and chair of psychiatry at the University of Oklahoma College of Medicine. From 1969 to 1989, he served as chair of psychiatry at the University of California, Los Angeles School of Medicine, and the UCLA Neuropsychiatric Institute. West's work on brainwashing techniques allowed him to exonerate U.S. servicemen under suspicion of treason for making false confessions during the Korean War era. This brought him to the attention of the CIA. He pioneered research into the use and abuse of LSD. West was also active in studying the creation and management of cults and anti-death penalty activism. Along with his friend Charlton Heston, he supported the civil rights movement, frequently participating in sit-ins and rallies. He was a trustee of the American Psychiatric Association and served as a consultant to a variety of governmental organizations, including the United States Air Force, the Peace Corps, and the United States Information Agency. West was born in Brooklyn, New York, or Madison, Wisconsin, to a Ukrainian Jewish immigrant father and a mother who taught piano. He grew up in poverty in Madison. He subsequently attended the University of Wisconsin-Madison for a year. And after completing prerequisite coursework at the University of Iowa under the aegis of the Army Specialized Training Program during World War II, earned his MD from the University of Minnesota Medical School in 1949. Thereafter, he completed his residency at the Payne Whitney Psychiatric Clinic of Cornell University on the Upper East Side of Manhattan in 1952. West was an officer in the United States Air Force Medical Service from 1948 to 1956, attaining the rank of major, while assigned to the Lackland Air Force Base after his residency. He was appointed to a panel to discover why 36 of 59 airmen captured in the Korean War had confessed or cooperated in North Korean allegations of war crimes committed by the United States. Amid speculation that the airmen had been brainwashed or drugged, West came to a simpler conclusion. Quote, "What we found enabled us to rule out drugs, hypnosis, or any mysterious trickery," he said. "It was just one device used to confuse, bewilder, and torment our men until they were ready to confess to anything. That device was prolonged chronic loss of sleep." End quote. The airmen avoided being court-martialed for these events as a result of West's research. He then published a paper with the title, quote, "United States Air Force Prisoners of the Chinese Communist, Methods of Forceful Indoctrination, Observations, and Interviews." End quote. Cornell University, where West completed his residency in psychiatry, was an MKUltra institution and the site of the Human Ecology Fund. He later became a subcontractor for MKUltra Subproject 43, a $2,800 USD grant by the CIA, while he was chairman of the Department of Psychiatry at the University of Oklahoma. The proposal submitted by West was titled, quote, "Psychophysiological Studies of Hypnosis and Suggestibility," end quote, with an accompanying document titled, quote, "Studies of Dissociative States." As for the claims that were reported by the servicemen in Korea, we now know that the reports of biowarfare were allegedly true. We were spraying biologics and releasing insects that had been genetically altered and carried diseases in many countries, including Korea. Jolly West was also involved in evaluating high-profile cases, including that of Jack Ruby. After Jack Ruby's psychological breakdown in April 1964, shortly after his arrest for the assassination of Lee Harvey Oswald, West was called in to evaluate him, and West diagnosed Ruby with acute psychosis and paranoid state. Ruby's mental state was allegedly said to have deteriorated at an accelerated rate after this visit, rendering Ruby unable to speak or the ability to defend himself in a courtroom. Charlie West was also involved with Sirhan, the man who assassinated RFK. West claimed Sirhan was subjected to, quote, psychic driving, a controversial mind-altering technique involving hypnosis or paralytic drugs. This claim added another layer of intrigue to the already complex case of the assassination. West was appointed as a brainwashing expert during the trial of Patty Hearst in 1976. West believed Hearst displayed classic signs of coercion, brainwashing, and the Stockholm effect. He even wrote a newspaper article after the trial asking President Carter to release Hearst from prison. While at Lackland in 1954, he was assigned to evaluate a case in Texas when a missing 3-year-old was found in a horrific murder. I am purposefully leaving out some sensitive details of this crime because of the sensitive nature of some of those details. However, the man accused of the crimes, by the name of Shaver, was an airman at Lackland Air Force Base with no criminal record. Shaver was found nearby the victim, dazed in a trance state, and always maintained afterward to be unable to remember the incident. The commander of the base hospital, Colonel Robert S. Bray, ordered a psychiatric evaluation to determine if Shaver had been legally sane at the time of the murder. West was the head of psychiatric services at the airbase and conducted the evaluation. Shaver spent 2 weeks under West's supervision. Shaver's memories never returned, and he was eventually convicted of the crimes. There was speculation and accusations that West might have tampered with Shaver pharmacologically, possibly as part of his involvement in the CIA's MKUltra project, which explored mind control techniques. On August 3, 1962, at the Lincoln Park in Oklahoma, researchers including West injected a 14-year-old Indian elephant named Tusco with 297 milligrams of LSD, nearly 3,000 times the human recreational dose, arguably. The goal was to induce a state known as musth, an aggressive hormonal surge in male elephants. However, the experiment went tragically wrong. Within 5 minutes, Tusco began to collapse, with his mate in the enclosure with him, attempting to prop him up, as she recognized something was wrong with him. Despite efforts to revive him with the antipsychotic drugs and barbiturates, he died about an hour and 40 minutes later. No one was ever held accountable for the death of Tusco. In 1967, West led a group of researchers to the Haight-Ashbury district in San Francisco. They rented an apartment and studied the hippie culture, particularly focusing on aspects related to sex and drugs. This research was part of a broader effort to understand the social and psychological impacts of the counterculture movement of the 1960s. Charles Manson and his followers were known to frequent the Haight-Ashbury Free Medical Clinic in San Francisco, where Jolly West conducted his research on LSD and drug use among hippies. History expects you to believe that one has absolutely nothing to do with the other. Jolly West never publicly admitted working for the CIA on MKUltra, but his work and correspondence with Sidney Gottlieb shed light on his participation. West was connected to Sidney Gottlieb through their involvement in the CIA's MKUltra project. West was a subcontractor for MKUltra Subproject 43, which involved psychophysiological studies of hypnosis and suggestibility. Sidney Gottlieb was the head of the MKUltra program and was known for his work on mind control and chemical interrogation techniques. Their collaboration was part of the broader MKUltra initiative, which aimed to explore various methods of mind control and psychological manipulation. West conducted experiments on a variety of subjects, including paid volunteers, airmen, mental health patients, and prisoners, most without using informed consent, making it impossible to know how many people were unaware they were part of these tests. Correspondence discovered between West and Gottlieb consist of proposed methods of extracting information from unwilling subjects using hypnosis and drugs. They discussed the induction of trance states by drugs and other mind control techniques. Some of this correspondence quotes West, quote, "I propose to investigate the effects of certain drugs on the induction of trance states and the enhancement of suggestibility," end quote, and got leave to West, quote, "Your work on hypnosis and drug-induced states is of great interest to our projects," end quote. Louis Jolyon Jolly West passed away on January 2, 1999, at his home in Los Angeles. The cause of death was reported to be metastatic cancer. However, John West, son of Jolly, claimed in a 2009 memoir that his father wanted to end his life due to his terminal illness, and John agreed to assist him. By morning, Louis Jolyon West was dead, and his death attributed to cancer.